On this edition of Let's Talk Cincy, the countdown to one of Cincinnati's premier events.
The Cincinnati Open has been a staple here in Cincinnati for 125 years. We welcome the world's largest tennis stars. We like to phrase it as the event of the summer.
Curtis Fuller talks to some of the people behind the new Cincinnati Open. From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
And with me now to talk about the upcoming Cincinnati Open, three people who will be heavily involved. Elizabeth DeRosier, she is the Director of Marketing for the Cincinnati Open. Kathy Wade, who has so many titles. She is the CEO, Learning Through Art, founder and CEO of DACA Music, award-winning jazz singer. We won't have her sing. Award-winning jazz singer. And last but not least, my friend Laura Gentry, who is the founder of Lag Productions, producer and promoter, and also president of Jazz Alive. And welcome to the program.
Thank you.
The Cincinnati Open will take place the 11th through the 19th of August. Let's talk about it's a little bit about its history and the significance of this tennis tournament.
Yeah, the Cincinnati Open has been a staple here in Cincinnati for 125 years. So this year we're celebrating our big anniversary, and with that, a lot of excitement. We welcome the world's largest tennis stars every summer. So the same people who compete at Wimbledon, the Olympics, the US Open, they'll all be here in Cincinnati. So it's a huge draw for tennis fans, but it's also an event for people who don't follow tennis. And we like to phrase it as the event of the summer. It's lots of live music, food and drink, just lots of entertainment, shopping opportunities, plus world-class tennis. So rather than just one day of excitement, we have 9 days for people to come out and enjoy. And it's an experience that can't be missed, so we're really looking forward to it.
You've had entertainment in the past, but it sounds like you've kicked it up a notch.
Yeah.
This year, huh?
Yes, yeah. In the past, we've had some pockets of live entertainment in the food court, for example, as people are eating, might have some background music. But this year, with it being the anniversary, and just kind of a reimagining of the tournament, if you will, we wanted to level up a little bit. And so we've brought in Kathy and Laura to help us with that. And we will have around-the-clock live music every day of the tournament.
And folks should know that really Cincinnati had to vie for the Open to keep it here because Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken, really wanted this tournament. But Cincinnati, and I say all of Cincinnati, really stepped up. The naming rights used to be for Western and Southern, but now it's expanded. And so that shows how much folks in this town really wanted to keep it.
Western and Southern has been an incredible partner for decades. And this year we're really excited. We have cornerstone partners, Western and Southern, Procter & Gamble, Fifth Third, Kroger, Great American Insurance, and Credit One Bank. And they, along with our partners at City of Mason, Warren County, State of Ohio, really helped keep the tournament here. And the success of last year's tournament and the investment from our fans, our community, that was really what sealed the deal. We saw just how much the tournament is loved and cherished here in the community.
Well, you rallied the support of two of the biggest names, and really, and I say that, they're both my friends, but I say that because this is something they have been doing for a long time. I don't know which one to start with, but I'll start with Laura because I know you had to get everybody together and pull in the names. This is not an easy task by far. Huh?
In some ways it was, and in some ways it wasn't, because as you've alerted to, it's something that I've done before, but for 9 days, or basically maybe 10 days, because the Open has a community day and kids day. And one of those days there won't be matches, but there will be entertainment. And when we first started talking about programming for those days in immediacy, I started thinking about artists and leaning into the concept of what the Cincinnati Open would like to have for entertainment for the span of the days. And I've told everybody, family friendly, lively, upbeat. Everybody who's asked me, every entertainer who said, what am I supposed to perform? Family friendly, lively, and upbeat. But I believe that we have a really great cross section of genres with jazz, R&B, funk, bluegrass, pop, and some very high-level bands that have great followings in here in Cincinnati, like Soul Pocket, Second Wind, Dixie and Ted Karras.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy Wade will be singing the national anthem. Dixie Karras will be singing the national anthem. The Northern Kentucky Brotherhood of Singers will be singing the national anthem. Michael Williams, who was on American Idol, will be a part of the entertainment, and Holly Forbes, who is from Ashland, Kentucky, who was a contestant on The Voice. She will be part of the entertainment. And also the Naked Karate Girls, Kelly Ritchie, who has a great following, who is a blues rock guitarist, Freak Bass, who is more funk. Those kinds of cross sections will bring a new constituency of patrons to the Open and also give a full experience, and that they can understand it is, you can bring your kids, you can come with your partner, it's a full experience. And I think that's the goal of what the Open wanted to do.
Yeah. It sounds like this is going to be really fun, a lot of fun. And I know you've been involved with a lot of projects. This is a heavy lift, but it sounds like at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a heavy lift, but I was excited. I was sat on a panel for the Junior League, and that's where Elizabeth got to hear me talk about the work that Laura and I were able to do with Major League Baseball during the All-Star game. I think we had 3 stages and
3 stages in 8 days.
Yeah, so you know, that was similar, you know.
Yeah.
So when I got this note from her, I said, I'd love to, but I need to bring my producing partner because I think together we can conquer this, and that's exactly what we've been able to do. I think that for those who may not be aware, and just listening to her talk, you can tell, Laura does a wonderful job of vetting people. You don't even know you're being vetted. I, frankly, will just go to Facebook and look around and, you know, just online to see what's out there now and just say, hey, Laura, check this one out. So it works out, you know, but she's got a very keen sensibility about the sounds that we want to make sure that are represented on the stage, particularly at the Open, because it's world class. And it also gives us an opportunity to shine the light on the depth and wealth of talent in this region.
Let me take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the significance of the Open here in Cincinnati. Back in a moment. Welcome back. We are talking about the Cincinnati Open. Elizabeth DeRosier in the middle, Laura Gentry on the end, and Kathy Wade talking about this. And the entertainment, I think the fact that Cincinnati had to really, for the first time, I think, try to save this, well, not try, Cincinnati saved this Open for this tennis tournament for this area is proof of its significance in the tennis world, really. And so to expand by doing this music part of it to this level is really key. Really key.
Yeah. The Cincinnati Open is the second longest running tennis tournament in the country, behind the U.S. Open. Right. So we have this rich history, and this year we're kind of we're balancing the rich history and celebrating the 125 years, but also very much looking forward to what is coming in the future. You mentioned the tournament now staying in Cincinnati. This year we renamed the tournament to the Cincinnati Open. We have new renovations, new projects that are being unveiled for this year's tournament, and many more for next year. So there's just a lot coming. We keep talking about this simmering energy of people are so excited to see what's next, and it will feel very similar to what they know and love and have loved for decades. But there's this like different sense. Something is different and something has changed for the better. It's a very exciting time for the tournament.
You mentioned the depth of entertainment in Cincinnati. Talk a little bit about that, because I think we take this for granted far too often.
Right. You know, this is probably, I've spent a career producing series and the Crown Jewels of Jazz, all of that. I think that, and then, you know, being able to work with somebody like Laura Gentry who sees the landscape and understands it, you have the opportunity to share that with everyone else. And the landscape is vast. I mean, when I think the other wonderful part about this, and I think Laura will agree, well, at least for me, is the people that I'm meeting that I didn't know, and now I do. I may have seen them musically, you know, professionally as a musician, but you get to know them on a different level. And the excitement about, you know, Laura's phone's ringing off the hook. The excitement as the word gets out, people want to come and be a part of, and, you know, for this part, we're pretty booked up, so, you know, we'll put you down and give it some thought for the future. But the bottom line is that it's so good to know that we can compete. The tournament has stayed here, and there's a reason why. We're just trying to amplify the value of the talent and the arts and the entertainment that's already embedded here.
Yeah, you could pick it up right where she left off. I think that, as long as I've known you, that's your sole purpose, really, to spot. And you know, Laura's behind the scenes somewhat. Well, everyone knows her, so she's not really behind the scenes.
Right.
But for the most part, she's not on stage singing and performing in that way. But without her expertise, these things wouldn't come off. I mean, your talent is.
I agree.
It's hard to even measure it. Now,
Well,
give me my money for all the compliments.
Well, the running thing between Kathy is she knows more people, and I know more musicians, and that works out well. And when she said, you know, my phone's ringing off the hook of the last 3 days, I've been mitigating a lot of incoming traffic of inquiries about getting on the schedule, and we're done. But as Kathy well knows, and probably you too, Curtis, everybody that I talk to, I start the database for the next year, and looking at what is the landscape and the possibilities for next year. I explained to Elizabeth the first time that I met her, we don't have to repeat acts year over year unless we want to, because we know of the fan base that they have and what they bring. But there is so many acts. And as Kathy said, I go and I'll sit over in the corner wherever they're playing and listen for about 30 minutes. And within 30 minutes, I'll have an idea about whether or not I will work with them.
We'll be back in a moment.
Hey Cincinnati, we have major news.
Your wonderful tournament is staying in Cincinnati.
So, you know, this tournament is so popular, but this will be happening in areas that, is it possible for me to come and enjoy all the activities, but not go in to see the tennis tournament itself?
Well, right now we have a few different ticket offerings available. Laura alluded to Community Day. It's a new opportunity for us. Because of the Olympics, our schedule bumps back a day. So we're starting on Sunday with match play. Saturday is an open day for us. And so before matches begin, we're opening up the grounds to the community with tickets starting at $10. And we'll have live music and entertainment. And then just lots of food, drink, shopping, opportunity to see players do Q&As, autograph sessions. There will be practice sessions. So there's a chance to kind of get on the grounds and get a taste of the experience that day. The other days of the tournament, yes, there are center court tickets available with limited inventory right now, but we also have our grandstand court. It's a lower price point, so if you're kind of on the edge of if you want to be watching tennis or not, that's probably a good ticket option for you. It gives you the chance to watch tennis if you'd like to give it a try, but also gives you access to the full grounds to enjoy the live music. And then as we get closer to the tournament, we may or may not have grounds passes available, which would just be what it says, a chance to get on the facility. But that will be determined day of, depending on if our stadiums are sold out or not. Yeah.
Wow. This sounds like what they do in New York. I don't know if you've ever been to the U.S. Open, and if you've been to the U.S. Open, but this is the same type of atmosphere that will be there. I mean, that's really world class. World class.
And that was one of the things that I actually investigated when we started talking about it. Is I went to look at what the other tournaments in the Grand Slam and what they offered to kind of get an idea of what we would be looking at as far as the landscape. And when I got the directive about what we were looking for entertainment, as Kathy alluded to, I went to go listen to bands. I wanted to be able to see what kind of performance that they did on stage, because you can hear people on YouTube or on their social media, but I wanted to actually see how did they do their stage performance and what kind of fan turnout did they had, which led me to a couple of casinos in the area and going to Turfway Center in Florence that I didn't even know existed, and around the region, listening to people, seeing who turned up, what kind of fans that they brought with them.
It's one of my favorite events of the year, and so I'm excited about what's going to happen this year.
We're looking forward to it.
And years beyond. All right, thank you. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Cincinnati's tennis tournament has been played here in the Queen City since 1899. Western and Southern has held the naming rights for many years. But in the past couple of years, there was some uncertainty about the tournament's future here in Cincinnati, with a potential move to North Carolina. But one of the people responsible for making sure the tournament stayed here in Greater Cincinnati was the chairman, president, and CEO of Western and Southern, John Barrett. I sat down with him recently to talk about the deal that saved the tournament.
2 years earlier, we put a bid in to buy the tournament. It was a very healthy bid. It was a little under $300 million. And the guys from South Carolina outbid us. We didn't see that coming. We thought we would get it. I wish 20 years ago we had bought it for $12 million like the USTA did. But our thinking was if the USTA bought the tournament, that was a good thing, because then we'd be assured of always having one of the big nine right here with the clout that they have. They ran into a wall with the COVID, and they just spent $1 billion on the Flushing Meadow facility, world class, but it closed. And you know, you spend the money on the construction, the interest, all that stuff, with no revenue coming in, they were squeezed. So a tennis tournament over in, I think it was Madrid, sold for a big number, and they looked at that and said, hey, we can do the same thing. So they went to the highest bidder. We wanted to do it. We had a couple of key guys, you can all realize who they are, who would have joined us on the bid, but we didn't get it. So it looked bad. When the people from BMOC came to Cincinnati and saw what we did, how we did it and everything, they were impressed. They have a smaller tournament there in South Carolina, which is a women's 500 series tournament. Very nice. I went to it. It's good. But it's not of the same stature or level that ours is. And the USTA and others had agreed to take our tournament from 1 to 2 weeks. So so the purses would be bigger, the number of players would be bigger, and at that time of the summer, it's the only thing going on. Golf is over, football hasn't started, baseball is in a lull because they get into September, that picks up again for the playoffs. So, long story short, we said, this is a winner. We got it. What can we do to do it? So the BMOC guys come, they check the whole place out, and you know, the plan was to go back there. A lot of those guys were from Charlotte. Charlotte is the other Queen City, and so it's so important that we win this tournament. So a number of the Cincinnati companies, I can look around and see their buildings right here. We all went together and said, it'll no longer be the Western Southern Open, which we were contractually on for. We subordinated our interest in favor of the Cincinnati Open so we could keep the tournament. And Kroger and P&G and Fifth Third and Great American, hope I haven't missed somebody, all threw in. BMOC, of course, also with their credit card company. And we have now 6 title sponsors instead of 1. That's fine. The goal for us was to keep the tournament here. Those kinds of things are irreplaceable. When we picked up the tournament, it was in 2001, about 6 weeks after the civil disturbances. And Paul Flory came to me and said, I've been to everybody and I have nobody to go to. I'm taking it out of town. Great interest in Chicago, also I think it was Houston and one other city. And I said, Paul, it's Friday. Can we wait till Monday about 1 o'clock? Our executives meet every Monday for lunch. We have 20 people in the room, right? And we said, should we do this? And everyone said the same thing. How can we afford to lose it? So we did it. And that was, a big deal for us. It was a lot of money. 7 figures 25 years ago was a lot of money for us. And when the BMOC guys got here and saw what we had, the 1,500 volunteers, they start out with, I think, 90 acres there, where they were only going to get 40 in Charlotte. And then they can pick up more land from the school out there, St. Clair College, and others. So they can be up to 100 to 120 acres quickly, which is much bigger. And maybe they'll put a conference center out there, and they can run around them year-round stuff going on up there. It's going to be a great entertainment center, and also that stadium will handle concerts. And they're going to build another one too. I mean, it's going to be great. Yeah. I'm running into people who are tennis fans from Chicago or LA, whatever. They say the best seat in tennis, and actually Chris Fowler said this, the best seat in all of tennis is at our stadium. There's 12 courts up there now, and they're going to be greatly expanded. There'll be more stadium courts. It'll be so nice. And the BMOC guys have their heads screwed on right. They'll do it right.
Again, the Cincinnati Open begins August 11th, runs through the 19th. But there is also a special Community Day that we talked about earlier. On Saturday, August 10th, Community Day at the Cincinnati Open will benefit actually local charities while giving fans early access to the tournament grounds for a Legends match and other special events. It should be a lot of fun as usual. Well, that does it for the program today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy.